dating a millionaire? What is the truth behind it, and how can you navigate toward attracting a top 1% man into your life, your dream man, and receiving the ring? Okay, so the number one truth about dating a millionaire, that even though they are top 1% men, this guy is like extraordinary successful. At the core of his heart, he is just a man. He is just a man who is just like all other men, also emotional, who has desires, who has a heart, who wants connection, who wants love. So what I see a lot of women doing is kind of like treating the guy like something special, like putting on a pedestal. Wow, he is just so special. I have to always keep my calendar clear, because if he asks me out last minute, I should be available. Or you might be like making yourself, you should always make yourself pretty just for yourself, but like trying to just look perfect just because you go out with him, and not to say everything wrong. And a man, especially a top 1% man, will feel that. He will feel that you're treating him like he's on a pedestal. And guess what? He will not like that. He will not find that attractive. Okay? He wants to be treated on an equal level. And therefore, it's important that you always remember that, he's just a human, just like you. And you don't put a man, not only millionaire man, any man on a pedestal, because masculine men don't like that. They just don't like that. They feel they they start losing interest, basically. Okay, that's the first point. By the way, I have a special announcement to do. In my course, my best-selling course, How to Date a Millionaire, where you have all of the steps from A to Z, how to date a millionaire, how to attract top 1% men until they can get enough from you and then commit to you, how to attract your male's proposal. I have this all the steps inside from A to Z. Because my birthday is coming up, I'm giving you a huge discount on this course. I will put the link and the coupon code in the description box, so make sure to check it out, because I don't know if I'm ever gonna be giving such a huge 70% discount on my best-selling course, which has already helped thousands of women attracting their millionaire's proposal. Okay, let's move to the second point, which is millionaires are not always flashy. Okay, you might be thinking, who is a millionaire? The guy that has like the most expensive car, who has the designer clothing. And honestly, it depends on what kind of period of his life this guy is. Okay, because a lot of millionaires who are still in their 20s, 30s, even 40s sometimes, they're still building. So what does it mean they're still building? They are still kind of like trying to invest their money so that it makes more money. Yeah. Whatever money they have extra this month, they made extra through investments, through work, they take this money and invest it in stocks, in houses, in assets, basically. So he's not necessarily gonna spend it on things like watches, cars. He might do it, but he won't necessarily do it if he's still in his building phase. So especially if you're still very young, you're dating guys in their 30s, 40s who are still building. A man who's flashy does not always mean he's a millionaire. There's actually so many men who just earn average or even in debt, but bought themselves, like, I don't know, a watch, or a sharing this Lamborghini with 5 cousins. Like, literally, this is so common, you would be shocked. So don't look only at the car and at the watch and stuff like this. If a guy has it, I mean, that's great, but What you have to figure out is if this man is investing. And investing can be in assets, but also in himself. So if a guy is investing in himself, in his education, in his personal development, in assets, one of the assets can be his own company. He keeps the money in his own company. He is building. So a millionaire man who has assets, who keeps investing doesn't always look flashy. And that's one of the biggest secrets that I don't think I've ever shared public, but you've got to really get to know this person and see sooner or later what kind of um, money mindset he has. Okay, so that kind of like leads me to the next point, is that when you yourself have a millionaire mindset, you understand money, you understand how assets work, you can spot a millionaire like that. Because you can talk to a person, not even like a man, but like to generally a person and say, wow, this person has an abundant mindset. This person understands about assets. So if you haven't yet, at least have some basic knowledge about assets, yeah, about how money works, so that you know, okay, can I have a conversation with this guy? Is he interested in that? Yeah, if you talk to a guy and you ask him, oh, nice, you have, I don't know, you guys happen to talk about money, and you'll be like, if you had like money won in a lottery or whatever, you can ask that question. Not in the first date, but later when you get to know him and you ask him, what would you do with this money? And then he says, I don't know, I would just like give it to my mom because I love her. That's obviously not a millionaire mindset. A millionaire would always answer that he's going to somehow invest it. Okay, so again, whatever we are seeing in movies, it's not always the real appearance. I think there's even a book that says The Millionaire Next Door. Yes. Wealth is what you have in assets, not what you have in clothes. Because how many designer clothes can you have? Okay. The next truth about dating a millionaire is that they have options, right? Like top 1% men, and not only men who have money, but also men who are educated, who have some kind of self-respect, so who have manners, who are good looking. So those men are gonna have options too. And those men are looking for a top 1% woman. And they're looking especially for connection, a heart-to-heart connection. Not just like a pure conversation where you guys are discussing things from head to head, but he's looking for a heart-to-heart connection. And what defines a top 1% woman in a man's eye? It is the ability to connect to his heart. It's the ability to connect to whatever, to see him for who he is. So for that, it's really important that you have the skills and you have the knowledge that makes you a top 1% woman, a woman that is highly desirable for a millionaire. And all of these points I have put in my course, How to Date a Millionaire. It's a proven system. There's so much knowledge for you, where you learn how to be desirable to a millionaire, how to be spotted by him, but also how to be irreplaceable in his eyes. Okay, so a millionaire man is going to have standards too. And no, it's not what you're thinking, that you have to be like 25, the best figure, supermodel face or whatever. No, it's about knowing how to ignite this gut level attraction. And what I'm talking about is like, imagine, have you ever had a crush when you went to high school or something like that? You close your eyes and you just saw this person. Okay, this is gut level attraction. Women have it also too. But when he's there, when he closes his eyes every single night and he's just seeing you, you know how to activate this gut level attraction in a man. And this is what makes you irresistible. This is what makes you irreplaceable. And again, I had clients from 20s to 70s using my tool from my course, How to Date a Millionaire. And yeah, it always works. It always works. So my client who was 70 years old, she was like so confidently telling me, ah, Ellie, you know what? Because I know how to make this guy level attraction, this guy, this millionaire man who she ended up marrying later, he has only eyes for me. But I know that, like, she was 70, right? But she was saying, I know that there are like some 40-year-old women with long, beautiful brown blonde hair chasing him, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care like about their hairs, about the body, about their. He just wants to be with me, because I knew how to create this gut level attraction. You know, she was 70. This guy was also in his 70s, but a millionaire, extremely wealthy. And you know, she had short gray hair, but she knew how to create this attraction where she become irresistible, irreplaceable. All right, so this works for women in any in every age. All right, so these are the truth about dating a millionaire. If you would like to have more tips about this topic, let me know in the comments. And again, if you're ready to attract your man's proposal, if you're ready to be a magnet to millionaire men while staying attractive, while staying, authentic to yourself, while staying authentic, while being yourself, while feeling confident. Yeah, I'm not about playing games. You've got to be yourself, you've got to be authentic, but you also need to have certain skills, because relationship skills, dating skills are just so important. Just like it's just a different skill set. It's just like when you are, you know, maybe you remember you had your mathematics classes, you needed mathematic logical thinking skills and knowledge, right? And in dating it's the same thing. You just need different tools, different skills, which usually are not taught in our modern world. So make sure to invest in yourself, because I know as a successful woman that you are, you deserve success in all life areas. I'll put the link to my course How to Date a Millionaire in the description box. And again, for this week, because it's my birthday, you're gonna have around 70% off, huge discount. Okay, make sure to grab that, and I see you in the next video.